on Keep the Vision Reacted. Make sure you are subscribed to that channel as well. We have got to get into the game. Caitlin Clark, last 4 games, 31 points, 8 assists. 31 points, 8 assists. They want to talk about race. They want to talk about trans. They want to talk about this. They want to talk about that. Caitlin Clark ain't talking about nothing but putting the ball in the bucket and putting on a show for the people, giving them the Clark show that we grew to love at the University of Iowa. And I look for that to continue today versus the Portland Fire. Don't look at the Portland Fire record and think this is an easy win.
Stephanie White finally stopped playing games. She looked Caitlin Clark in the eye and handed over the keys to the entire franchise. It wasn't just a coaching move, it was a total surrender to the inevitable greatness that everyone saw coming, but the staff tried to restrain. The leash is off, the restrictions are dead, and the league is officially on notice. This isn't just about winning a game anymore. It's about a total offensive takeover that started with a private conversation, one that changed the course of the Fever season forever. The power shift is complete, and the revenge tour has its conductor.
Fire. Don't look at the Portland Fire record and think this is an easy win. This is the same team that put hands and feet on the Indiana Fever last time we was in Portland. They put hands and feet, belt to ass, completely beat down on the Indiana Fever. But times have changed. Times have changed. KTV, why have times changed? Because Stephanie White, she'll be coming around a mountain when she go. She'll be coming around a mountain. Stephanie White has come around. She has realized, I gotta lean into the Caitlin Clark system. The Caitlin Clark system, putting the ball in her hands.
The timing couldn't be more perfect because the Indiana Fever are heading into a hornet's nest against the Portland Fire. Forget the records, and forget the standings, because the last time these two teams met, it was an absolute beatdown. Portland didn't just win, they put hands and feet on this Indiana roster in a way that embarrassed the organization. They were aggressive, they were physical, and they made the Fever look like they didn't belong on the same court. Now, with Caitlin holding unbelievable power over the offense, she's looking to settle that score and deliver a receipt that Portland won't soon forget.
Around a mountain when she go. She'll be coming around a mountain. Stephanie White has come around. She has realized, I gotta lean into the Caitlin Clark system. The Caitlin Clark system, putting the ball in her hands, letting Kelsey Mitchell operate off ball. Kelsey Mitchell scoring off back doors, scoring off 2-3 dribbles max. Then when Caitlin Clark is on the bench, she can go into her dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. She can do her dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun when Caitlin Clark is on the bench. Stephanie White has finally twitched herself awake and realized the Caitlin Clark system is what is going to take us to the promised land, and that's why you've seen.
There are whispers that this sudden change in Stephanie White's coaching philosophy didn't happen by accident. Rumors are swirling that someone from the front office, one of the real heavy hitters, grabbed the coach by the shoulders for a wake-up call. The message was loud and clear: this is the Caitlin Clark show, and you're either going to run it or pack your bags at the end of the year. It's the kind of ultimatum that forces a coach to stop overthinking and start leaning into the generational talent sitting right in front of them. The results of that talk are visible in every single play call we see now.
Stephanie White, I believe, has finally gotten a wake-up call. I think somebody from the front office, one of the higher-ups, came and grabbed her by their shoulders and, hey, listen up. This is the Clark show. You either going to run the Clark show or you going to have to pack your bags at the end of this season. And Stephanie White has been letting Caitlin Clark do her thing with the ball in her hands. Okay, we got Aliyah Boston coming back around. Let's get into this right here. We got to show this. This is important. The injury report. Caitlin Clark probable with a back. We'll see that every game, but she'll be good to go tonight. Aliyah Boston probable with the right.
We're seeing the birth of the true Caitlin Clark system, the same high-octane machine that dominated the University of Iowa. Stephanie White has finally realized that the ball belongs in Caitlin's hands for 40 minutes a night. It's about pace, it's about vision, and it's about letting the most dangerous player in the world dictate how the defense has to react. By giving her this unbelievable power, the Fever have transformed from a struggling squad into a team that can drop 100 points on anyone's head. The hesitation is gone, replaced by a ruthless offensive identity that prioritizes Clark's instincts above all else.
She don't even play in the games. She got a left knee injury. Maybe she injured herself going to the bathroom, going to get some cookies out the cabinet. I don't know what happened. Damiris Dantas won't be playing, but we don't need her to play anyway. I don't want to see her out there, okay? The lady got cement in her shoes. She can't move. Now, let's get into the game for today, okay? We need to. Stephanie White, don't get cute. Don't overthink things. Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston pick and roll. Heavy on the Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston pick and roll to open up this game and establish dominance early. Okay, that is going to be important. Having the ball in.
This shift hasn't just helped Caitlin, it has unlocked the rest of the roster in ways we didn't see coming. Look at Kelsey Mitchell, who is now flourishing in an off-ball role that allows her to be a pure assassin. Instead of fighting for touches, she's scoring off backdoors and taking 2 dribble pull-ups while the defense is panicked, trying to find number 22. When Caitlin is on the bench, Mitchell can still go into her bag and do her thing, but the primary engine is now established. It's a hierarchy that works, and it's exactly what the fans have been screaming for since the very first whistle of the season.
Pick and roll to open up this game and establish dominance early. Okay, that is going to be important. Having the ball in Caitlin Clark's hands and running that pick and roll with Aliyah Boston, because it opens everything up. Because Caitlin Clark is going to get doubled off that pick and roll. They can't play drop coverage because the girls score 40. That's going to leave Aliyah Boston playing 3-on-2 on the backside. You got Kelsey Mitchell on the weak side. We should be able to eat. We should be able to eat. A very, very important key to this game is you're on the road. You cannot let the referees dictate the game. And that goes to Caitlin Clark. You can't get frustrated to the point where you lose it.
The most telling sign of this power shift is the death of the minutes restriction. We saw her play 33 minutes last game, a clear signal that the training wheels have been ripped off for good. Stephanie White is no longer worried about pacing her star or managing her workload to the point of irrelevance. If you want to win in this league, your best player needs to be on the floor during the biggest moments, and the coach has finally accepted that reality. This extra time on the court is where the revenge is going to happen, allowing Caitlin to build a rhythm that Portland simply cannot disrupt.
At the point guard position, she got the best of Caitlin Clark last game. Like we just got to be honest. She outplayed Caitlin Clark the last matchup, and she's very, very aggressive. You already know the Portland Fire coach is going to say, hey, we are going to get you. We want you to get downhill and ISO Caitlin Clark every chance possible and just run into her and fall and hope that the refs give us some calls. We're at home, and that is why Caitlin Clark has to be smart and can't overreact to the refs, because Carla Lett can play. She's going to be aggressive. She's going to look to draw fouls nonstop, and the refs are probably going to give her a few bogus calls. Okay.
Don't lie about how effective this new approach has been for the rookie sensation. Over the last 4 games, she's averaging a staggering 31 points and 8 assists. Those aren't just rookie numbers, those are MVP caliber statistics that prove she's already one of the most impactful players in the game. While the media wants to talk about race, politics, or personal drama, Caitlin isn't talking about anything except putting the ball in the bucket. She's focused, she's locked in, and she's putting on the kind of show that people travel across the country to witness in person.
That can handle Aliyah Boston at all. I need to see $6 million worth of Aliyah Boston today. And that's not first, make your bunnies and your layups. I'm tired of seeing Aliyah Boston miss layups. Okay. We need you to finish these shots around the rim. But more importantly, we need Aliyah Boston as that anchor defensively and rebounding. We gave up like 16, 17 offensive rebounds to the Seattle Storm. That's way too many offensive rebounds. The Indiana Fever have to close defensive possessions with rebounds. You got to close out the possession with rebounds. We gave up way too many second chance opportunities to the Seattle Storm for my liking.
But don't let the stats fool you into thinking tonight's game against Portland is going to be a walk in the park. The Fire might have a record that looks manageable on paper, but they are a physical, nasty team that knows how to get under your skin. Last time, they used their hands and feet to bully the Fever out of their rhythm, and eventually secured a massive beatdown. They treated Indiana like a punching bag, and that memory is still fresh in the minds of everyone in that locker room. This isn't just another game on the schedule. It's a chance to erase the embarrassment of their last trip. The injury report is another factor that could throw a wrench into the revenge plans if the Fever aren't careful. Caitlin is currently listed as probable with a back issue, but knowing her competitive drive, she'll be out there ready to fire away. Aliyah Boston is also dealing with a right lower leg injury that has fans holding their breath. Having both stars banged up is a concern, but the word is they are both good to go for this high-stakes matchup. They know they can't afford to sit out when there's a statement to be made against the team that previously handled them with such ease and disrespect. There's also some developing concern regarding Monique Billings and a left hip injury that popped up at the last minute. Hip issues are notoriously tricky for basketball players because they limit lateral movement and explosiveness in the paint. If she can't go or is limited, we might see a significant uptick in minutes for Michaela Timpson. Timpson has shown flashes of brilliance, but stepping into a high-intensity road game is a different beast entirely. The depth of this team is being tested right when they need it most, and how Stephanie White manages these rotations will be the ultimate test. As for Damaris Dantas, it seems she's still dealing with a knee injury that has kept her sidelined for what feels like forever. At this point, some fans are wondering if she's ever going to see the floor or if she's just there to collect a paycheck. It's a frustrating situation for a team that could really use some veteran stability in the front court. However, the current sentiment in the building is that they don't even need her right now. They have enough talent and enough momentum with the current core to handle business without worrying about who is sitting on the end of the bench in street clothes. The game plan tonight has to be simple and devastating, heavy doses of the Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston pick and roll. This is the foundation of the revenge strategy because it forces the defense into impossible choices. If Portland plays drop coverage, Caitlin is going to pull up and drop 40 points on their heads before they can even blink. If they double-team her, it leaves Aliyah Boston playing 3-on-2 on the backside with plenty of room to operate. It's an offensive cheat code that should be run until the Fire prove they have a way to stop it, which they haven't shown yet. When that double team comes for Caitlin, it opens up the weak side for Kelsey Mitchell to feast on a scrambling defense. This is where the Fever become truly unguardable because you can't be in two places at once. If you overcommit to stopping the Clark show, you're leaving an elite scorer like Mitchell wide open for easy looks. Stephanie White has to ensure the ball movement remains crisp and that they don't get stagnant if Portland tries to get physical. Establishing this dominance early is the only way to silence the crowd and take control of a hostile environment on the West Coast. One of the biggest challenges on the road is dealing with the officiating and the frustration that comes with it. Caitlin has to be incredibly smart about how she interacts with the refs tonight because they can dictate the flow of the game. If she gets frustrated to the point where she loses her focus, it affects her shooting and her decision-making. We've seen her check out mentally when calls don't go her way, and that's exactly what Portland wants to see. She has to stay poised, keep her head in the game, and realize that the best way to talk back to the refs is by putting up a triple-double. Portland's entire strategy revolves around their aggressive guard play led by Carla Lyle. She's a point guard who knows how to manipulate the defense and draw fouls at a high rate. In their last matchup, she actually outplayed Caitlin, which is something the rookie definitely wants to rectify tonight. Lyle is going to be downhill all night, trying to isolate Caitlin and bait her into cheap fouls. The Portland coach is likely telling her to run straight into the Fever guards and hope the refs give them the benefit of the doubt at home. It's a trap that Indiana must be prepared to navigate carefully. Defensively, the Fever have to prioritize controlling the perimeter and keeping the Portland guards out of the paint. It starts with containing Lyle, but it also extends to Bridget Carleton, who is a dangerous threat from all over the floor. Carleton can shoot the three, hit the mid-range jumper, and finish at the rim with consistency. She's averaging 14 points and 4 rebounds, making her a vital piece of the Fever's offensive puzzle. If the Fever backcourt doesn't show up and dominate this matchup, they're going to find themselves in another dogfight that they might not be able to win. This is the night where we need to see $6 million worth of Aliyah Boston in the paint. She has a massive advantage down low because Portland simply doesn't have a big who can handle her strength and footwork. However, Aliyah has to finish her bunnies and stop missing those easy layups that have plagued her at times this season. We need her to be a monster on the glass and a defensive anchor that intimidates anyone who dares to enter the lane. If she dominates the interior, it takes all the pressure off the shooters and allows the offense to breathe and operate more effectively. Rebounding is going to be the statistical category that determines who wins this game of revenge. Last time out against the Seattle Storm, the Fever gave up way too many offensive rebounds, leading to second-chance points that kept the game closer than it should have been. You cannot give a team like Portland extra possessions, especially when you're playing in their building. The Fever must close out every single defensive possession with a strong rebound and a quick outlet to Caitlin. Controlling the boards is how you ignite the fast break and let the Clark show run at full speed. Then there is the question of who is going to step up from the bench to join the scoring party. Is it going to be Sophie Cunningham, the blonde bomber, finding her stroke from the three-point line again? She has the ability to change a game in a 3-minute span if she gets hot, and her energy is infectious for the rest of the squad. The Fever need that spark plug off the bench to maintain the momentum when the starters need a breather. Having a reliable third or fourth scoring option makes this team nearly impossible to scheme against over a full 40-minute, high-intensity basketball game. We might also see Tia Shaw-Harris coming off the bench to provide some veteran leadership and scoring punch. If she can give the team 13 or 14 points, it takes a massive load off Caitlin's shoulders. The goal is to have so many threats on the floor that the defense doesn't know where to turn. Whether it's Harris, Cunningham, or Timpson, someone has to be ready to step into the spotlight and deliver. Revenge is a team effort, and the bench unit will be the deciding factor if the game stays tight heading into the final minutes of the fourth quarter on the road tonight. Stephanie White's transformation as a coach is being watched by the entire league right now. By giving Caitlin Clark this unbelievable power, she's admitting that the old way of doing things just wasn't working. It takes a lot of guts for a coach to pivot so drastically mid-season, but it shows she's more interested in winning than in her own ego. She's finally realized that she has a Ferrari in the garage, and there's no point in driving it like a minivan. This new-look Fever team is a direct reflection of a coach who finally decided to get out of her own way and trust her talent. The atmosphere tonight is going to be electric, and the stakes couldn't be higher for a regular season game. This is about pride, it's about growth, and it's about proving that the Indiana Fever are no longer the league's doormat. Caitlin Clark has the ball, she has the power, and she has the green light to do whatever it takes to secure this victory. Every pass, every shot, and every crossover is a statement to the rest of the WNBA that the hierarchy has shifted. The Portland Fire think they have the blueprint to stop her, but they're about to meet a very different version of this team. At the end of the day, the Caitlin Clark show is more than just a basketball game. It's a movement that is redefining what's possible for this franchise. Stephanie White didn't just give her the keys, she gave her the authority to lead this team into a new era of dominance. As the revenge tour kicks into high gear, the rest of the league is starting to realize that the rookie they tried to bully is now the one holding all the cards. Tonight is just the beginning of what happens when you give a generational talent the power to truly be herself on the court. The entire world is watching.